Day 7 of the Young Thug YSL RICO trial was a circus. We got 2 officers who took the stand regarding a case with Thug's brother, Quantavious Grier, where he was caught with a stolen firearm. One of the officers even says he saw Grier in the courtroom today, but he's not on the case anymore, so he was mistaken. Then towards the end of the day, a juror alerts the court of an Instagram post she saw where someone might have exposed the jury on Instagram. This is not regarding the live stream situation like a week ago. This is a completely different Instagram post that this lady saw, basically exposing that she was on Instagram in October when she wasn't supposed to be. This is a disaster. I mean, this lady needs to be replaced in my opinion, but it's towards the end of this video. You'll see what she says. She says she's not gonna be biased at all, but she's been on Instagram, so she's clearly been seeing stuff on social media. And then the judge finally warns them to stay off social media again, but obviously no one listened to that because she did it. This is a circus. Here we go. His subscribers grow into it. So this first guy testifying is about Thug's brother. Shout out Thugger Daily for all these tweets. He's so fire. I would imagine this cop finds him with a stolen gun on him at a gas station.
Can you tell the jury what you know generally about the 221 Cleveland area?
Basically, it's a known drug area with a lot of violence.
Stop.
Oh, sorry.
What's your objection, sir?
I couldn't hear the objection because audio is terrible, but they were not happy about him saying it's a known drug area.
It has a reputation where there's a lot of gang activities going on where they sell drugs in that area. They seem like they hang out there to sell some of their narcotics.
Basis same. Overruled. Overruled.
They keep objecting to him bringing up that it's a drug-infested area or whatever in crimes. Judge seems to overrule everything each time too.
You observed the older male with a firearm waving it in the air.
He gave it to the driver who was wearing the black.
The driver
of the white vehicle.
And can you describe for the jury what that firearm was like?
That was a black firearm as well. I went towards where I saw the 2 occupants, the driver and the backseat passenger, walk to. I told him to get on the ground, showing his hands. He complied, laid on the ground.
Your Honor, we understand that the witness is refreshing his recollection with the report,
But first, a word from our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. The pick'em game is perfect for the NFL season. All you do is pick whether your player will have a higher or lower stat total to win big. Just pick between 2 and 5 players for a pick'em entry. Underdog is available in 30 plus states including California, Texas, and Florida, and Canada. Alright boys, here are my picks for this Sunday's games. I got CJ Stroud going higher than 256 passing yards. Then I got DK Metcalf getting more than 60 receiving yards. And then finally I got Matthew Stafford throwing more than 200 passing yards. I threw $100 at it, and if I get all 3 of my picks right, I get a max payout of up to $600. All you got to do is sign up on UnderdogFantasy.com or in the App Store with promo code CUFBOYS. Click the link in the top of the description or pinned comment right now, and they will match your deposit up to $100. So if you deposit $100 in, you'll also get a bonus $100. Underdog is also giving new customers a free pick of the week. All Dak Prescott has to do is get a single yard, and you win. And that right there is the easiest way to win money with Underdog. This app is so fire, I'd take advantage of it, boys. Click the link right now. Use code CUFBOYS. Thank you, boys. Here's the rest of the video.
what he's refreshing his recollection about is hearsay. And that's our objection.
Well, at this point in time, I'm going to overrule your objection, sir.
It's within that area, a known gang, is a gang that is known frequently within that area. Objection, foundation.
I sustain the objection. You need to lay some more foundation, sir.
Can you look around the courtroom and tell me if you see Quantavious Grier in this courtroom?
He was sitting over there, but I don't know he's sitting on now.
He was sitting over here today?
Looked like him that was sitting over there.
Can you point him out?
I don't see anybody now. I don't see him now.
He's not in the courtroom. He got sentenced to 9 years because initially he caught a plea deal and got out, but then he got caught with a gun and got sentenced to 9 years by a judge because they were like, yo, you messed up again.
Mr. Grier this morning?
Yes, sir.
Where did you believe you saw him sitting?
Next to the light-skinned dude.
The light-skinned dude? Okay. What was he wearing?
A suit.
What color was the suit?
A dark colored suit.
Did he have on a tie?
Yes, sir.
What color was the tie?
I'm not familiar with the color of the tie.
When did you see him in the courtroom?
They look alike. If that wasn't him, I'd have to see that person again. But let's see. Oh, no, that's not him. It looks like him.
You're looking at the parking lot, the surface of the parking lot. Do you see any tagging or gang graffiti on any of the parking area?
No, sir.
On the side of the building, we saw some photos on the side of the building. So did you see any gang YSL graffiti on that building?
You saw the side of the building?
Yes.
I can't see the side of the building.
Any gang graffiti on this particular gas station building?
No, sir.
And you needed gas and you got off on the expressway and you went over to this particular gas station, correct?
Yes, sir.
You said you saw a rifle, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I think you testified that from the vantage point that you were able to determine that rifle was an AK-47.
Style rifle.
Style, okay. Was that rifle ever recovered?
No, sir.
Why wasn't it recovered?
They want to invade their rights.
Okay, you didn't want to infringe upon their rights, so they had a right to have that particular weapon in their possession?
I mean, yes, sir.
Okay, so you didn't make any arrest of the person with the rifle, correct?
Correct.
You didn't document that that person with the rifle was a part of a gang, correct?
Correct.
You didn't document that that person with the rifle used that rifle on the premises of the Chevron, correct?
Correct.
No one inside the Chevron called law enforcement and said, hey, there's a guy with a rifle in a red vehicle, and I would ask that you all remove him from our premises, correct?
Correct.
You had not gotten any calls from any disturbances that had occurred at the Chevron this particular evening, correct?
No, sir.
Even this person that you said you heard ranting, if you would, with a gun in his hand, no manager inside the food mart, no employee, no citizen or anyone called 911 saying that this person was creating a disturbance, correct?
Well, my radio was turned off because I was off. When I first got there was no police there. There was just a whole lot of people congregating in the area not getting gas.
The driver had on all black, correct?
Yes, sir.
You did not see any type of gang paraphernalia on the person in the all black, correct?
Correct.
The person that you described with the red hoodie, you didn't document in your report that the person who had a red hoodie on had a red hoodie on that was associated with any type of gang activity, correct?
Right.
It was just a red hoodie, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this older male that you said had blood on his T-shirt, there's nothing about your investigation that determined that this person that had blood on their T-shirt had been injured with respect to any type of criminal activity, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. You don't know why the person had blood on their shirt, correct?
Correct.
Could have been from working, right?
Not that fresh of a blood.
Could have been from a fall,
Yeah,
correct?
could have been from a fall, yes, sir.
And the person that you said had this firearm, this older gentleman, you stated that he was under the influence, right?
Yes, sir.
Had been drinking. He was pretty much probably a drunk with a gun, right?
Seemed like it, yes, sir.
And the person who was in this vehicle who retrieved the weapon from the older gentleman was actually providing safety to that property by removing the gun from a drunk, correct?
Well, he gave the gun to a drunk first.
Okay. And he got it back.
So no, he wasn't providing safety.
Okay, he got it back though, right?
He didn't give it back.
Okay. And there was no issue with that gun. Nobody fired any weapon, right?
Thank God.
No one used the weapon to do a robbery or anything of that nature, correct?
He used the weapon for active assault, brandishing a firearm to try to shoot somebody, so there was a crime.
But
with
anyone
that.
tried to get shot that night?
The way he was ranting, saying he wanted to kill somebody and a specific person, he had the firearm in his possession to go do it, but he didn't do it. I described what the aggravated assault was.
Did you describe in your report that an aggravated assault had been committed?
I gave a description of the action of the aggravated assault in my report, but I didn't say specifically it was aggravated assault.
That's because an aggravated assault actually requires a victim, correct?
It does.
And you didn't reference in your report that there was any victim of an aggravated assault, correct?
There was a description that I described as an aggravated assault, which caused me to act the way I acted, so I need to prevent the aggravated assault.
This lawyer's doing a good job at making this guy look a little iffy with his decision making on how he wrote his report. But it just seems like he pulled up to a gas station and witnessed a commotion, something to do with Thug's brother being there, received a gun from someone, and then people ran off. That's all this seems like happened.
Detained Quantavious Grier, correct?
Yes, sir.
You stated that this person had a stonewashed jacket and a red cap. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
You did not reference that Mr. Grier was associated with any gang in your report, correct?
Correct.
And as a matter of fact, Investigator McKessie, you did not document in your report that you were going to make any type of referral to the gang unit within the APD, correct?
Correct.
In fact, there was nothing about this particular incident that caused you to reference in any way gang activity, correct? In your report.
You really want me to answer that question?
Well, I'm asking, in the report that you prepared, I'm asking you, did you reference any gang activity
No, sir.
in your report?
No, sir.
Okay. You said it was for safety, but Mr. Grier, he never waved a gun at anyone, did he?
He had a gun in his hand.
Right, but he never waved it at anyone, right?
You don't have to wave a gun to have a gun in to do that.
And no one walked away from him as though they were afraid because he had a gun in his hand, correct?
No, sir.
Okay. And you detained him because he had a gun in his hand, and as a result of that, he complied, right?
Yes, sir.
He didn't run away from you.
No, sir.
He didn't give you a false name.
No, sir.
He didn't give you a false date of birth.
No, sir.
You said lay down on the ground, he laid down.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Any of them here in this courtroom that you recall?
No, sir.
Okay. And you know I represent Mr. Williams, fair to say?
Sir?
You know I represent Mr. Jeffrey Williams, right?
Okay.
And he wasn't at the scene, was he?
No, sir.
When you mentioned and you described the area, in Cleveland Avenue area, that area, how long have you been familiar with this area?
Since 2005.
Tragically, the area is poverty-stricken.
Objection.
I'm not going to answer that.
I'll rule the objection.
I'm not going to answer that. That's disrespecting that community.
Okay, well, how would you describe the income level in that community?
Little foundation, Mr. Steele, if you want to ask him that.
Do you have a belief on the level of income in that area?
Objection, relevance.
I'm going to sustain the question as to form. It's still...
The cop said that's disrespectful to that area, but I mean, you're in a courtroom. I don't think you're being asked by a lawyer if there's a lot of people that don't have money in the area, which is probably true. Let's be honest here.
Do you believe that that area has a lot of crime.
Yes, sir.
And does that area have any type of flourishing houses? You know, the housing market there? There's a lot of homeless there.
I'm sorry, again, I'm not going to disrespect that community.
I'll sustain this form. You can break that down, Mr. Steele.
Let me ask you this. Are you
Yeah, he's got to word it better. Mr. Steele's got to word this better. I know what he's trying to get at.
familiar with the McDonald's at 150 Cleveland Avenue?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar that McDonald's is today out of business?
Yes, sir.
And it's still the structure there, though. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
God damn, you know your area is rough when the McDonald's on the corner goes out of business. I mean, damn. I don't think I've ever seen a McDonald's go out of business.
And did it have video surveillance?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
What had video surveillance, sir?
The McDonald's, sir, 2014 going into January 2015.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is it routine, typical, trained that if you get information about, let's say, something involving the parking lot of the McDonald's in Mr. Williams number 1, and it had to be corroborated or looked into whether people were there on a certain day and time, do law enforcement have the ability to go and either request or subpoena that video surveillance from the McDonald's?
Yes, sir, they do.
Okay. Were you involved in any way with confirming or not confirming statements made to law enforcement, specifically Detective Thorpe, on January 11th of 2015 about people at the McDonald's?
No, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead. Ask for continued objection to this line of inquiry.
I'll note it for you, sir. We continue objection.
But if information came out to Detective Thorpe and others that on January 11th, 2015, that on January 10th, 2015, there were people in that McDonald's, video surveillance could have been gathered if law enforcement wanted to.
Objection. This is facts on evidence, Your Honor.
Tell ladies and gentlemen, jury, how easy is it to get video surveillance?
It's hard sometimes to get on the business.
How about subpoena power?
It's still kind of complicated because you have to give it to maybe to a corporate office.
And then where, in relation to this McDonald's, would the location that you were talking about with the jurors be? Would it be to the left on Mr. Williams number 1 or to the right?
You mean where I saw Mr. Grier?
Yes.
To the right.
Okay.
If we're facing McDonald's, it'd be to the right.
Okay, on our picture.
I'm going westbound.
And does that area also have video surveillance?
Not sure, sir.
Okay, that's okay. The laundromat, does that have video surveillance?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
So he arrested Thug's brother in the McDonald's parking lot right here. Thug's lawyers just pointing out that he didn't get surveillance video from the surrounding businesses. Like he didn't put the extra effort in, I think. That's what his point is.
Is that included in what you brought up with you when you came to testify? It's by your left hand?
Yes.
Same report there?
Yes, sir.
About 8 lines down, doesn't that inform us that the back passenger actually disarmed the drunk man with the gun?
This is not my report, but yes.
Thank you.
A report was different than his. Is that what that basically just said?
Just based off the off-duty officer observation about multiple people with firearms, one possibly waving it in the air, people seeming agitated, like they were about to jump into a shootout or something like that, and so we got on the scene where people started to flood, and Mr. Grier was there. The firearm was a stolen firearm out of Clayton County.
Another damn stolen firearm. So this is about the same incident with Thug's brother. I don't see the importance yet besides just him having a stolen firearm. That's like obviously not good, but I don't see how this is too important yet. I love Keith Adams right here. He seems like he's really good at cross. Like he just knows how to find little holes. So let's see what he says right here.
The officer, all 3 officers saw guns, right?
Yes.
Okay, individuals with guns. Specifically, one guy who was waving a gun around and making some statements, all right?
Correct.
What you came to find out, though, or maybe what you observed, I don't know, you tell me when you got there, is that that guy who was waving the gun around, who was described as someone who might have been under the influence or something like that, that guy was waving the gun around, and then the rear passenger of a vehicle came and took the gun from him, right?
That was my understanding at the time.
Okay, I mean, that's what you wrote in your report, right?
Yes.
That person who took the gun from the drunk guy waving the gun around was Mr. Grier, right?
Yes.
Was in possession of a stolen gun, right?
Yes.
And you haven't had any involvement with that until you were called to come testify in this sprawling RICO racketeering gun case, right?
Repeat that again.
Objection, Your Honor.
All right. Now, which one? And you said it's an area known for gang activity and high crime and that sort of thing.
Yes.
It's a poor area, right?
That is subjected to what you believe poor is.
Well, poor means, low income.
I can't say.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, I mean, you're well versed enough to say that it's a high crime area or it's a gang area, but you can't say whether it's a low income area or not.
There's some nice houses that's not too far from there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Why are these cops so scared to say it's a low income area? It clearly is. And they're sworn in and tell the truth. They gotta tell it how it is, bro. Like, what is going on here?
You charge Quantavious Grier with being in possession of a stolen gun, right?
I believe so, yes.
Now, the information that you had, though, right, was that he had gotten it. He took it away from the drunk guy who was waving it around, right?
That's what I believed at the time, yes.
Right. And the other information you had is that that drunk guy actually got the gun from the driver of the car, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. You don't remember speaking to the off-duty officer who said that the driver is the one who came and gave the gun to the drunk guy. Drunk guy waves it around, And then the back passenger, Mr. Grier, got out of the car and took the gun from the drunk guy. You remember that's what she was told?
I'm not sure.
He's making Thug's brother actually look like he did something good, which he might have. I mean, he got a gun out of a drunk dude's hands. But I don't know the context to who the drunk dude is.
That the drunk guy was waving the gun around before Quantavious Grier took it from him, right?
Yeah, I know somebody was waving it around.
Right. So he was in possession of a stolen gun when he's waving that stolen gun around, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was he charged?
No. I don't know who he is.
I'm going to check you right into mischaracterization of the evidence.
Yeah, why wasn't that other guy charged with something?
3 people would touch in or be in possession of that stolen gun. Quantavious Grier, the only person arrested, right?
Long
If you know.
pause.
Repeat that question.
All right. 3 people in possession of the gun. Driver, who gave it to the drunk guy, that's one. Drunk guy, who's waving around talking about, I'm gonna shoot y'all motherfuckers. And Quantavious Grier. 3 people. I'm touching and being in possession of that stolen gun.
I was. Hold on, wait a second. What's
That's mischaracterization of the evidence and the testimony that's come out of the trial.
I think I'm overruling the objection, Mr. Brown.
You understand the question?
I
Wow.
understand the question. I wasn't there to see who had the weapon, who gave it to who. I just know that when I made contact with Mr. Grier, he had the firearm on him.
Pete Adams cooking. He does a really good job at casting doubt. Next witness is Henry Radcliffe, a police officer. Has something to do with Huey, who was actually in the courtroom. So yeah, Marcavius Huey, theft by receiving stolen property.
And the firearm did came back stolen out of Wine of Police Department. I was
Another damn stolen firearm.
It'll take about 15 minutes and then, everybody can stretch and
So now they went on break and something happened with one of the jurors where they think they saw themselves on social media, but this isn't pertaining to the recent incident where they were on stream. One of the jurors came forward and said they saw herself on like an Instagram page. This is the Instagram post they saw, but it doesn't even like show anything in the Instagram post. This is on some dude's court. He was in the courtroom, this guy right here. Here's the screenshot of an October 16th, 2023 video from William McRae's IG account from the media room in the courthouse. So he's in the media room, like in a different room, just like took in a picture of the TV. This video does not show the jurors. It sounded like the juror saw herself on a courtroom camera today, not media camera. And she was concerned she was being shown, having remembered she saw this video back in October on McRae's account. This juror was just like confused, thinking she was shown. Now they apparently call in jurors.
I'm going to call in Juror 409 at this point in time, okay?
Miss Love is here finally. I don't know what she's been doing.
Okay, I need to ask you just a couple of questions. Within the last, I would say, 30 minutes, you shared a video on your phone with Sergeant Ingram, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and that particular video was of a person that, what is his name, William McRae?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how did you come to look at this particular video?
When we were dismissed this last time, I saw myself on the camera above us here. And so I asked Sergeant Ingram, where else could we be seen on this camera, from this screen? And I asked if we could be seen in the viewing room. And then I remembered October of this year seeing something scroll through on social media. This was before we were picked as jurors. Okay. And I remembered, and because I personally, I don't know him personally, but because I know of the history of this individual, Mr. McRae, I was concerned that information had been put out that might interfere with the trial, and so I brought it to his attention, Sergeant Ingram, and I said I remember seeing that. So with the camera view, I wanted to know if the jurors could be seen in the viewing room. At that time, he asked me to get a screenshot of what I saw back in October, and so I scrolled through his page and found the screenshot, but in the process of finding the screenshot, I saw the video. Now, the way social media works now, you can see a video, but if you don't touch it, you won't hear it. And so I continued to scroll, but I mentioned to him that there's a video, and it looks like he was live in the courtroom.
Was this earlier, like in October, or was it when did this video or live incident filmed by Mr. McRae occur?
It looks like it occurred when he was here this week. I saw him on yesterday, and I brought it to Sergeant Ingram's attention.
Oh, okay, so your concern was that you might have seen yourself on a live feed?
Yes.
Okay.
This trial's a circus. Holy fuck, dude, they're gonna have a goddamn field day with appeals if he gets convicted. If they get found guilty appeals are going to go crazy, dude. This is insane, bro. This juror wants out. She doesn't want to be on this trial anymore. She's scared that she was on a live feed.
Or concerned that any of us could have been on a live feed.
Did you show this video to any other of your fellow jurors?
No.
Did you tell them anything about Mr. McRae or your concerns?
I mentioned it in the room, and of course they overheard me talking to Sergeant Ingram.
This isn't even the situation where it got leaked on the stream. This is someone else like reporting on Instagram, like a blogger or some reporter, someone inside. I don't think she was seen on it though. Like you can't really see shit.
Would this video in any way affect your ability to listen to this case, apply the law that I'll give to you and your colleagues, and to apply to the facts and the evidence as you determine them to be, and render a decision that speaks the truth as to all parties?
Not at all.
All right. So your basic concern was that you thought that he might be filming in contravention of the court's order.
Correct.
All right. And how do you know him from, or what caused your concern to raise this to Sergeant Ingram?
I know the history that follows this gentleman.
Okay, and without getting into that, and that's what made you concerned?
Yes.
Okay.
So she kind of exposed herself that she was looking at shit in October during the end of jury selection on social media when she's not supposed to be doing that. This shit's fucked, dude. So now they're calling in a few jurors to see if they like overheard or anything or know anything about this situation.
Talk about the media in any way?
No.
Okay, thank you much. That's all I need to ask you, okay?
Okay.
All right, you seem disappointed. All right, but okay. All right, don't tell anybody else what I asked you, okay? Just go back in there and I'll call for you in just a little bit, okay? All right, thank you so much. Number 56, please, sir.
Oh my god. This trial's supposed to be like 6 to 9 months. Something's gonna happen where they're gonna run out of alternates. They only have like 5 or 6 alternates. If I was a Georgia taxpayer, I'd be livid with how much money they're wasting on this trial, dude.
Did you know Juror 409 is sitting in the front row over there?
I know of, yes.
Okay, did you ever hear her talk anything about the media?
No.
Okay, thank you. Did you overhear her talk anything about the media?
No, sir.
Okay, that's all I need to ask you, okay? I would ask that, that if you came off of the media apps or social media, you won't have that issue to deal with. There won't be anything that pops up on your feed or anything that may cause you to come in contact with anybody or any third party that is broadcasting about this trial. That is my concern, and for all of you, is I know that all of you are going to follow my directives and not listen to this case, but it's just too much a temptation for people to come like, oh, let me just recap of the case today on the AJC or 11 Live or or Channel 2 or 46. I'm asking that you all just do that.
They're not going to listen. He's telling the jury to stay off social media. This is a shit show. One of them, this lady just exposed that she was on social media in October. I'm actually baffled. I don't even know what to say. If you're new to my channel, subscribe from my Twitter and Instagram. Love you guys. Peace out.